Snack time. I'm your host, Marno, and joining us today is my friend, David. Hi, David. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too. It's been, I don't even know how long, when you visited New York?
I think it was it was last winter, like almost but like a not hold on. It has either been Michelle, it has either been approximately 3 months or 5 years, and gun to my head, couldn't tell you. I truly, the mental math broke me at such an existential level trying to figure it out. Too long. Let's just say it's been too long.
Yeah,
I think that's the bottom line.
It's been long enough that I was living in New York comfortably. Actually, it was when Chad and I were living together, so that's
right.
That's even further back than I thought.
Way back. Yeah.
Holy shit. Anyway, how are you doing? Are you ready to discuss your love for peanut butter today?
I could talk about peanut butter for an infinite number of hours, whether with another person or by myself. So I will do my absolute best to contain myself and focus my energies appropriately for this podcast.
I'm so ready for this. This might have to be like a multi-segment, multi-part episode.
The
Who knows?
Extended edition.
You never know on Snack Time.
Love it.
Well, to start off, before we dive into peanut butter, we gotta know here at Snack Time, are you a salty or sweet snacker, and why?
It's the age-old question. I am, bottom line, a salty snacker through and through. I am, I think my mission when it comes to the food that I put in my body, the closer I can get it to being just a small bowl of salt, the better.
A fucking horse.
I, in a perfect world, could just sit in an empty house, no furniture. I don't know why I'm painting this picture, but with a small bowl of kosher salt and a spoon, and I would get everything I needed from that snack. So that's why peanut butter, I feel like, and we'll get more into this in a moment, because it really, at the end of the day, is a salty snack, I believe.
Agree.
But it has its sweet feet on the ground and pulls me back to equilibrium. It's sort of it represents me in so many ways, because I am a salty bitch, but I need that familiar sweet embrace to keep me grounded and to keep me from being deadly, frankly.
Too salty. I literally have never heard someone speak my heart as well as I have just heard you do. Yeah. Literally, because obviously you want both. You want salty and sweet.
Of course.
It's almost a cruel question to ask, because if you truly only like salty or sweet, you're there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But the salty is what brings me back for more. And for what? For more of what? Just food in general. En general. Yeah. Okay, I feel that. This is going to be such...
Yeah,
a fantastic discussion.
Were you the kind of kid who would suck the salt off pretzels?
Oh, because that's
fuck
yeah.
I would take pretzel sticks and just absolutely perform fellatio on them to strip them of their rock salt, and then place the soggy, plain, now unsalted pretzels in a line on a psychopath.
Okay, I'm not that psychotic.
No, I'm telling you, it's bad, and it's you were saying that people who only like salty or sweet have something wrong with them. I think that's true, and because I think I am one of those people. And so, but just the way that our parents used to put a vegetable in a sweet sauce, or find ways to salt salads or whatever to get us to eat them. Peanut butter does that for me with sweet. It's hey, yeah, I'm salty. Let's be salty together. And then as soon as it's in my mouth, it's no, girl, you're getting both, because you deserve both. You're better than that. You don't have to be just salty. And I'm you're right.
You can have it all, David. You can have it all.
I can't.
Oh my God. I mean, so with the pretzels, because now I'm thinking, I think we had regular shaped pretzels more than the little rods, because still to this day, usually when I put one of those little crunchy, little round pretzels in my mouth, my tongue is going through the holes and licking the salt, and then I eat. I don't take it back out of my mouth and then put it as a display on the table in front of me, though. So that's where we differ. But I
will clarify that was that was a childhood habit that I will say for the most part have moved beyond.
For the most part.
But yeah, sometimes that's just what you need.
I mean, I think it really speaks to us, maybe as fellow, queer humans that enjoy all flavors of
that's right.
The
and maybe
rainbow.
Our like non-binary unstraightness like caused us to crave salt because of the way it just cuts through. Like so much about our identities was unclear to us. Like so much was a spectrum, but we knew that salt and its sharp, straightforward flavor would remind us who we were. And this is now actually bitches. My spoken word podcast that you're a guest on. So thank you for joining us.
Wow, I'm so honored to be a guest on the inaugural episode.
I'm so sorry. Jesus
okay,
Christ.
So
why? Has it been an hour yet? Okay,
why
sorry.
does peanut butter make you feel so passionately this way? Like, what really is it? The salty and sweet, or is it like linked to a memory? Is it like, what is it deep down?
Yeah, the answer I think is a little bit of all of the above. A lot of it starts, and we can talk more about this later, but
talk about it now. I don't give a fuck. This is my podcast. If I want to hear it, I'm going to hear it. Who else is here? Listeners, snackers, sorry, you don't get a say in this. You are just along for the ride. And David is taking hold of the wheel, and I am going to sip my water.
Yeah. Peanut butter really does taste like my childhood because I think, for two reasons. Number one, my grandfather, my mom's dad, who was a diabetic, a lot of times what he would do, I know this is actually now sad, but sometimes if he had, his blood sugar was getting low, often in the middle of the night, he would come downstairs and just have a full spoonful of peanut butter because it would help get his, blood sugar back up, but it had protein, what have you. But because he did that, my parents understood like, oh, peanut butter is a good source of sugar, but also protein, and it's cheap. So it was something they always had in the house for him. But so therefore it became like a solution to childhood hunger in the household. Where, we lived in an apartment in Chicago. My parents were grad students. My mom was a working actress. And so like you could have stick carrots and a spoonful of peanut butter and you would get protein and sugar and vegetable. Like you could have peanut butter toast in the morning and that was a hearty breakfast that would get you there.
My peanut butter method of choice today. We'll get into it.
Gorgeous. Well, which brings me to the main point about peanut butter is that it is, I think, I picked it as my favorite snack because of its ubiquitousness, that it is not
the vocabulary.
Thank you. So not only because it's a snack in its own right, like I could eat it by the spoonful and I would enjoy it. It can be a dessert snack where you can add it to a pie. You could dip other desserts in it, the Reese's end of the spectrum. It is a throughout the day snack. You could have it on pretzels. You can put it in celery. It could be a healthy snack. And it's also a breakfast snack, peanut butter toast, put it on a banana, So it's not only a snack in and of itself, but it is also a snack elevator of other snacks.
And meal elevator.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now I'm like, is peanut butter like the ultimate food?
In my opinion, yes.
Because jokes aside, it can be eaten by itself.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it is a food on its own that can just so easily be incorporated into completely different flavors. Oh my God. Like fucking Thai food. Oh, yeah. My favorite Thai dish is pra ram.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. It's like peanut butter sauce, but it's
used the world over because it's also non-perishable. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. Oh my God.
You're so right.
So it's used in developing countries as a source of protein and an easy food to share.
peanut butter is the solution to the world's problems, except for people that have peanut allergies.
Yeah,
but there are other types. There's like,
there's other nut butters.
There's almond butter. There's sunflower butter.
Cashew butter. Or just plain unsalted butter. Like, whatever.
Just butter. Just completely not peanut butter at all. Now it's just like, just butter.
There's butter of many kinds. But yeah, it all boils down to, I'm sort of realizing in this moment that, like, I'm a Scientologist, but instead of science, it's peanut butter. But
that cannot be your plug. Scientology
you're
will not be promoted on this.
I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Just for the record on the pod, I'm not a Scientologist. But it really boils down to the quote that I carry with me from the iconic king of culture himself, Paul Blart Mall Cop. He said, peanut butter, it fills the cracks of the heart. And he was right when he said that. He was absolutely right.
The cracks of the heart. The fact that you just brought Paul Blart Mall Cop
and Scientology within a minute of each other
has broken my heart. And I only need to fill the cracks with my peanut butter snack of choice, which, as David has said previously, can also be a breakfast meal. Peanut butter on toast. And I just have it on some regular white bread. It's the Artisano brand, so it's that like really yummy white bread. I have a little toasted, got some peanut butter smeared on, and it's delicious. It's just like so easy and so good. And it'll like fill you up.
That's right. Sticks to your ribs.
What are you bringing to the table today, the snack table?
On my little board here, I have just some plain peanut butter on its own.
Love it.
I also have some peanut butter filled pretzels, which are one of my favorite go-to snacks. My dad and I could demolish an entire thing of these in like 20 minutes if we really put our mind to it. So that, we've already talked about pretzels, which are a great snack, but peanut butter elevates them to another level. Yeah. And then I finally, of course, have that Parent Trap classic. I have Oreos to dip in peanut butter. Because for some reason in that movie, they act like it's some transgressive thing that nobody likes, dipping an Oreo in peanut butter. Where it's like, it's like the way people used to talk about believing in astrology. They were like, you believe astrology, you like Oreos in your peanut butter, But watching that movie as a kid, I was like, oh my God, I like that. Am I the third twin? Like, I wasn't born on October the 11th. That they've told me. Like, I just felt so seen. And representation matters. So
okay, I've got to say you've redeemed yourself now by bringing up both Freaky Friday and astrology in the same 30 seconds. So we're back on track.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, you've got like your own little peanut butter charcuterie board going on.
And I cannot stress enough that I thought about this like a week and a half ago and then didn't think about it again until today, like what I was going to have on my plate. And so this was just me walking through the kitchen going, okay, I have 90 seconds to fill a plate with delicious peanut butter things. And it's that easy.
It is that easy. Honestly, I do want to hear like what your huge plan was when you thought about it a week ago before you forgot that you were going to be on the podcast. It's fine. I'm not hurt by that information at all. I haven't been like counting down the days until you're like, I want to be on the pod. And then I was like, oh my God, like you listen? But I do actually love that it was the 60-second boom, boom, boom. Here are my choices, because it exemplifies how easy it is to pair something with this superfood. I'm going to say it, maybe controversial, but here I am on Snack Time. Peanut butter is a superfood.
And Michelle, it's your critical voice in the world of in the culinary world that we count on and that the world demands. So I want to thank you for your honesty and bravery today and for allowing me to join you.
You're so welcome, listeners, snackers. You're also very welcome. I mean, this is it's my dream come true to be able to share my heart and soul in terms of food with you all. So I am going to take a bite of my peanut butter toast. It has definitely gone cold by now, but do you know what? With peanut butter, It doesn't fucking matter. It will stay sticky. It will stay the perfect texture, especially if you're using Skippy like me. Those preservatives. What are you going for first?
I have a peanut butter filled pretzel that I have dipped in additional peanut butter.
Bitch.
And we've
got some double peanut butter going on.
and mine is Jif. However, I'm not a peanut butter brand loyalist. Like I feel that, all peanut butters matter. If we're going to continue to be political.
We are going to get it. I want to take a bite of this because I'm just staring at it and I really do. But after this bite, I'm going to ask you the ultimate peanut butter question.
Oh, God. I knew this was coming.
Just a classic flavor.
Classic. In many ways, the taste of America.
Okay, though. We can get into some history in a little bit.
No, that's true. That's true.
It is.
It like a flavor and a key dish that, like almost everything else, America has adopted and demanded be intertwined with its identity as something that's purely American and not from anywhere else. It's sort of how I felt about like cooking, when this whole pandemic started. Like I had already been into cooking and I love to cook. And then
it's my dream to eat food that you've made.
Oh, it's going to happen. Well,
because
we're now within
is
50 miles of each other. It's going to happen.
I know. Oh my God. I can't wait. Literally, I'm counting down the days.
But like everybody started cooking at the beginning of quarantine. They're like, oh, this is me. I'm a chef now. And I was like, no. This has been my personality for some time. And
Bitch, I've been here.
And I guess what I'm trying to say that like as a white man, like cooking, is something I have my chips on and other people are not allowed to enjoy. Because what is the role of a white man in society other than taking universal, very common things and deciding that they are integral to my personality and no one else?
Oh my God.
Which brings me back to peanut butter, which I actually would love to hear your researched information on.
Oh my God.
Peanut
okay, let's have a little historical convo break. Yeah. So I'm on the nationalpeanutboard.org website, which I think they've got, if they are not the authority on peanut butter, then
They got the .org. The .org is the blue check mark of the nonprofit world.
I agree. So we're .org in it over here today at Snacktime.
Absolutely.
History of peanuts and peanut butter. The history of peanuts is a journey from South America to Asia, east across the Atlantic Ocean, and back again to North America. Peanut butter was first introduced at the St. Louis World's Fair. Is it St. Louis or St. Louis? When it's the
depends.
city.
In Missouri, right? St. Louis.
Okay, St. Louis. I'm just trying to make it fancy. America. St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Honestly, I wish. What if we had, how like Canada has like French speaking parts? Like what if we had, other than like, I guess Louisiana and like areas where there's Creole, like what if we just had like Missouri was French? That would be fun.
And from Chicago, Illinois.
And then like in Texas, just Paris, Texas.
The accordion music starts playing.
Anyway, peanut butter was first introduced at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904 and became a source of delicious protein. They're already like bragging, like we're a source of protein.
We met her. We did a quick DNA test, and we confirmed that she is 100% that bitch.
It was a really good source during the first two world wars. Boom, because it lasts long.
Just like the first two world wars.
Peanut butter lasts as long as the first two world wars. Oh,
peanut butter sustaining global conflict since 1904.
Oh no!
Oh, this is taking a turn. Peanut butter, girl, no, work for peace, please.
Maybe peanut butter was the only source of peace.
That's right.
There you go. The the peanut plant probably originated in Peru or Brazil in South America. No fossil records prove this, but people in South America made pottery in the shape of peanuts or decorated jars with peanuts as far back as 3,500 years ago. As early as
and those are the people who founded the religion that I'm now a part of, where we worship peanut butter. That's it.
I didn't know your religion was so ancient. Wow.
Yeah, it's actually been around a long time. Sort of like before it was cool, I guess. Like,
wait, what are you drinking?
Oh, this is water out of my swell. Decorated with many stickers.
I was going to say, it looked so cute, and I could only see it in, like, blurred while you took a swig, so I thought it was, like, a cool bottle of some interesting beverage, but I guess it's just water.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
It's fine.
I do, however, have a sticker touting the Rascal Flatts classic "Life is a Highway."
Why?
Right underneath my iPhone sticker. You know why, Michelle? Because life's like a road that you travel on, and one day it's here, and the next day it's gone.
I mean, if 2020 taught us anything, it's that one day you're in, and the next you're out. Avitasen.
2020, take your knives and go.
2020 said knives out.
2020 said get the knives out and then put them back again, pack them up. You've been eliminated.
But then get them out because you're gonna have to cook all of your meals because can't leave your house.
Take them home. That's now your workplace. Good luck. I'll do the same.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No. Interrupting is all this podcast is consisting of ever.
Great.
Whether it's me or my guest. I love it. I'm actually like the worst interrupter. Like the common thing that I have like as like, oh my god, what is the word I'm thinking of? The hardest part of editing myself in these podcasts is me just talking over people. And I'm like, fuck you to me. Let's get back into this history because when are they going to get to peanut butter? Because that's what I care about. Blah blah blah.
Yes, people are making art like peanuts.
I know why. They're like really diving into it. Peanut production in the U.S. steadily grew from the first half of the 19th century. Peanuts became prominent after the Civil War when Union soldiers found they liked them and took them home. Both armies subsisted on this food source high in protein. So peanuts themselves were like the only food source in the Civil War, I guess. That's kind of fucked up.
Well, and that's one of those like historical phrases where it's like, you know, so peanuts grew abundantly in the South where, you know, pioneers like George Washington Carver were helping, you know, mass produce them and figure out their genetic makeup. The Union soldiers, it said, what does it say? It said they liked them and took them or something like
Took them home.
Took them home. Something which indicates essentially like mass peanut theft, which I do find sort of like, oh, those Union soldiers, they came to our peanut farm and they picked us dry. You know, I'm imagining like a Civil War era Mr. Peanut, you know, with his like tattered Scarlett O'Hara dress being like, they've taken everything.
Speaking of Mr. Peanut, we got to get into, I forgot about that. We got to get into the controversy.
The controversy? Oh, is it about his death?
And then reborn as baby peanut.
And rebirth as, yeah.
Okay, let's just talk about it briefly right now, because this podcast is not about peanut butter, but we have to bring up the peanut in the room, and that is right. Mr. Peanut's death.
Yeah.
And then baby peanut. But then people hated baby peanut so much that they like fast forwarded peanut's growth to become like young peanut.
Yeah. So now he's like a strangely adolescent peanut, essentially.
And then when is he going to just go back to Mr. Peanut? Like, how long do you think they're going to give themselves before they're like, let's just go back and say that he aged again?
I mean, it really is up to them on like how far they want to double down on this, which so far is 110%. Like, I would not be surprised if come Super Bowl time, like we are unveiled the next phase of their plan, like the next, the next era of the life cycle of Mr. Peanut.
The Peanut cinematic universe is like as insane as the MCU at this point.
just as convoluted, but delivering the consistent level of quality of the DC universe.
Shots fired.
And if that gets me canceled, honey, so be it.
Honestly, that's the official stance for this podcast. So snackers, get on the fucking board, because MCU versus DCU. What the fuck is DCU? No one even says that.
Not even a question.
No.
And I say that as a Warner Media employee. Whoops.
What is the disclaimer that people always say? The thoughts and opinions given here are not representative.
Are not representative of Warner Media, but are my own and my own only.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. We've discussed Mr. Peanut and the whole controversy. Right. Back to peanut butter. Who invented peanut butter? There is evidence that ancient South American Inca Indians were the first to grind peanuts to make peanut butter. But that's all we know, I guess, because then they go on to, in the United States, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg of cereal fame invented a version of peanut butter in 1895. They literally put parentheses of cereal fame.
That John Harvey
that
Kellogg.
One, not the other Dr. Kellogg.
Oh, God.
Then it is believed that a St. Louis physician may have developed a version of peanut butter as a protein substitute for his older patients who had poor teeth and couldn't chew meat. Peanut butter was first introduced at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. Wow. And then it talks about the Army more. The National Peanut Board, loves the military, I guess.
It is a little unsettling to hear how closely peanut butter and its daddy peanuts have been tied to our military industrial complex for the last 200 years. That's a little haunting for me. And I'm going to recover, but it hurts a little bit.
Yeah. I thought,
yeah, wow.
But the thing is, okay, so it's still tied in with that. But there may be evidence that it wasn't created just for,
Yes, and if this clearly,
but that history has been erased.
Yeah, it has been absolutely decimated. And it's because, clearly so many wonderful things came from South America, and we just swapped, we swapped the secrets of that delicious, salty, buttery snack for, I'm sure, some smallpox blankets, and just made off to form our new country and to fight wars with our protein. It's disgusting. I made the joke about Manifest Destiny before, but I guess the bottom line here is that peanut butter is a snack so versatile and so powerful and so sustaining that, nowadays it's oil in the Middle East. Back then it was peanut butter in the South. It is a commodity that has fueled and controlled the fates of dynasties and republics and colonialism for hundreds of years. And to that end, I spread it on my Oreos and I say thank you.
What a moment for peanut butter to be acknowledged in this way, honestly. This is historic in itself. Just the discussion of the history has become a historic moment because, as far as I'm concerned, this is now the official stance, at least for this podcast, on peanut butter and kind of peanuts in general.
Being pro, but deeply aware of our colonial history.
Yes, which honestly, wait, snackers, we are recording this the day after Thanksgiving.
I was gonna say.
Who knew that peanut butter would be so fucking relevant for this exact day of our lives?
Yeah, exactly. If the spirit of Thanksgiving does not apply to how we understand and remember and savor peanut butter, yeah. Wild.
Wow. I mean, I just need to take a bite of this in like celebration of this this celebration of a revelation that we have just had.
That we, the greatest culinary thinkers of our time, have boiled down to such an existential level. I'm sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full.
Well, I was just gonna say, the one thing about peanut butter is it's not very podcast friendly because it is so sticky. Mm-hmm. That like we might just need to take a break right now while we finish this bite. So snackers, we will be right back. It was literally just gonna be us chewing for like a minute, so
I was like, oh shit. I can't remember.
And we are back with a very special moment. David, please take it away.
I think we should take a break from discussing the imperialist colonial history of peanut butter I would like to bring you my favorite piece of peanut butter content.
Culture,
which is,
you might say, peanut butter
that's
culture.
That's right, peanut butter culture. Which
the peanut butter cinematic universe.
This key, important cornerstone piece from the peanut butter cinematic universe, which is, of course, Peanut Butter Sandwich by Shel Silverstein. And it goes like this. I'll tell you the story of a silly young king who played with the world on the end of a string, but he only loved one single thing, and that was just a peanut butter sandwich. Now, his scepter, wand, his royal gowns, his regal throne, and golden crowns were brown and sticky from the mounds and drippings from each peanut butter sandwich. His subjects all were silly fools because he had passed a royal rule that they all could learn in school. All that they could learn in school was how to make a peanut butter sandwich. He would not eat his sovereign steak. He scorned his soup, his kingly cake, and told his courtly cook to bake, and nothing but an extra sticky peanut butter sandwich. Then one day he took a bite and started chewing with delight, but found his mouth was stuck up quite tight from that last bite of peanut butter sandwich. His brother pulled, his sister pried, the wizard pushed, his mother cried, "Oh, my boy's committed suicide from eating his last peanut butter sandwich." The dentist came, and the royal doc, the royal plumber banged and knocked, but still those jaws stayed tightly locked. Oh, darn that sticky peanut butter sandwich. The carpenter, he tried with pliers. The telephone man tried with wires. The firemen, they tried with fire, but they couldn't melt the peanut butter sandwich. With ropies and pulleys, drills and coil, with steam and lubricating oil, for 20 years of tears and toil, they fought that awful peanut butter sandwich. Then all his royal subjects came. They hooked his jaws with grappling chains and pulled both ways with might and main against that peanut butter sandwich. Each man and woman, girl and boy put down their plows and pots and toys and pulled until crack. Oh, joy. They broke right through the peanut butter sandwich. A puff of dust. A screech, a squeak. The king's jaw opened with a creak. And then, in a voice so faint and weak, the first words that they heard him speak were, "How about a peanut butter sandwich?" Shel Silverstein, the peanut butter sandwich.
Wow, bravo.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Thank you so
please
much.
just like read me like a Shel Silverstein poem every day, like preferably before bed, but like any time of the day. Honestly, I'll take it.
I would be more than happy to.
Also, okay, so I have never heard that before or read it. What a turn it takes.
What? It's like, it's very Humpty Dumpty where it's like, oh, all the king's men, they couldn't, and then they're like 20 years. You're like, Jesus Christ.
And then he's like gonna commit suicide, like.
His mother is like sure that he's dead because of how tightly stuck his jaw. Like
talk about walking to the edge of the sidewalk. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. And that's also intertextuality.
Wow. I'm so, learned.
Yes, I agree.
While you were reading that, the part about suicide stuck out. Who knows why?
Oh.
Not it's mental illness in it.
I'm just a spot on the suicidal thoughts in.
It made me remind. It made me remember yesterday. You know, the tradition in my house is to watch the Peanuts Thanksgiving episode or little, you know, film, whatever.
Depression, the musical. Yeah.
Literally.
I've seen it.
And there is a part, I've seen it every year, but like, it's one of those things where I've seen it so many times where you're kind of just half watching, you know, you're checking your phone, oh, get the pie out of the oven, like whatever you're also doing at the time, you're coming back and forth because you've seen it a million times, you can fill in the blanks.
Right.
But yesterday, at one of the moments where I like decided to actually really pay attention, it's the classic Charlie Brown and Lucy are out on the field. Wait, Lucy, right?
Yeah.
And she's going to pull the football, and he knows it, so he's like, why would I kick the football? Something along the lines of, I'm just going to fall and kill myself. And I was like, all I heard was kill myself. And I was like, wait. What did Charlie just say? And I literally, I got the remote and I rewound that son of a bitch because I was like, what the fuck is Charlie saying? He's going to kill himself. And then I realized it was like, oh, he's going to fall and it will kill him to fall. But
I see.
The way it was worded was he was going to kill himself.
A real suicidal threat. Yeah.
And so it was shocking.
Wow.
To say the very least, that this was in a children's program. Where was the rating board on this one? They really dropped the football, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God.
But then I also realized in this split second when you were talking about the suicidal king with the peanut butter sandwich, I thought, boom, Charlie Brown killing himself, but also, boom, Peanuts bring it back in to peanut butter. So it all connects. What we're saying here is the peanut butter cinematic universe is vast and
far beyond
unending. It's
what
like
we can
perceive. There's
no
edge.
That's right. And so, which brings me back to Scientology because I'm sorry.
Wait, okay, another
I have never brought up Scientology this much in any conversation I've ever had with anyone. And I'm sorry that it's this conversation that we're recording when I decided honestly, to experiment with that.
Now that you've said this, it's kind of an honor to like have it just wide in the open that like this is the most you've spoken about
this is the most outspoken I've ever been about Scientology, which is not I'll just say into my mic, not my religion. just boiling down on that.
But like if you want to hear David talking about Scientology on the internet, this is the number one source. This is the number one.
That's right.
Source.
The one-stop shop.
Your works cited page is just going to be this.
I know.
Which, now, you know, if you're listening, whatever you're listening on, I just want you to know that you can listen to Snacktime on all of your favorite podcast listening services and apps, but also YouTube. Right. So make sure you're subscribed. When weirdly, YouTube is popping off right now. I don't know why. In terms of like listenership. So yeah, good for Monofo Show. YouTube channel, aka me. Good for you, me.
I'm on board.
Okay,
now you asked me a question, and I really have been stalling since you asked it. But you better go ahead and ask it because I'm just nervous. But yes, let's do it.
I mean, it's almost like a sub question of the most important question of snack time, which is salty or sweet. And when we're talking about peanut butter, we have to ask this question, which can be so polarizing, so controversial. Mm-hmm. But I do want to preface this with saying that I, along with all of my other viewpoints on snacks, am an acceptor of all snack opinions, thoughts, feelings, emotions, identities. I have that same stance on this question, which is, do you prefer your peanut butter smooth or crunchy? Please weigh in.
Oh, it's just my heart's beating so fast.
Snackers, you can't see this, but David is flushed.
I'm in full psychological distress. And I know that, thank goodness that my interviewer in this scenario is someone who understands the faulty nature of binaries in general. I find them divisive. I find them unhelpful. I find them to be inhuman, in fact. However, and this is where really I know that I'm probably a charlatan to have come on this podcast as some kind of peanut butter expert, and to give this answer. And I know that I'm going to alienate some of your audience, and like, you're going to get letters and I'm going to get mean tweets, and like, that's just is what it is. But
we're ready for the haters because we only speak the truth on this podcast. Snack time is the time to eat snacks and get real, people. Wake up. We are living in a world. We live in a society. I can't even finish.
Okay. I'm just gonna speak my truth. I'm just gonna do it. Okay. Never in my life have I had crunchy peanut butter in my mouth and thought to myself, this was the right choice. Like I have never had crunchy peanut butter and thought to myself, I don't wish this was creamy. I think this is the exact right choice for this moment. That is not to say that I don't like peanuts. I don't dislike crunchy peanut. If crunchy peanut butter is the only peanut butter available to me, I will eat it. I will go to town. But creamy peanut butter has my heart. And I think truly that creamy peanut butter ups peanut butter's versatility. Because there are times, it's like the hammer and the scalpel, right? Sometimes you can't send a hammer to do a scalpel's job. And the creamy peanut butter is more versatile. It's more precise. It delivers on flavor, but doesn't affect texture,
Yes.
So my heart is with the creamy peanut butter. And I know, I in my limited experience, people who prefer crunchy peanut butter tend to be peanut butter sandwich mainly people. They tend not to care about peanut butter as, universally and as flexibly as I do, and so I think it's just a matter of you. It's like I have more need for creamy peanut butter in terms of how I consume it. And I think I've just gotten so used to it over the years that, if I eat crunchy peanut butter, I'm like, I also, though, sort of famously really have a texture thing, which is crunchy things inside soft things.
We might need to discuss this.
Yeah. And that's sort of it is a separate issue, but I really like, I don't think, like, I struggle with nuts and baked goods, which I know is something people love, but it's like I'm enjoying a soft, like, caramely, gooey brownie experience. Don't assault my teeth with chunks of pecan or walnut or what have you. Like, I don't need a muffin to have, like, parts of it that hurt. Like, I just, that's not something I need.
Okay, and honestly, though, like,
yeah,
are we, like, just as I've known you these past years, but even more so within the past hour, we just connect on so many levels. And I've got to say, this whole baked good stance not only is an issue of mouthfeel and flavor, but for me personally, it's a matter of life and death. Because I am deathly allergic to the two nuts. Well, I'm allergic to all nuts technically, but my worst two nut allergies are the two nuts that people love to put into their baked goods and hide into little things. And so I don't get to enjoy the desserts sometimes, which is honestly okay because, as we know here, I'm a salty bitch. But sometimes I do want the sweet.
So which
but
is it?
I have to sit out. It's
Walnuts,
pecans
almonds?
and walnuts.
Oh, pecans. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. So just another level
you know
of us getting along, I think.
And there's something to, and this is where crunchy peanut butter, I think it's like, because it's not that bulky. There's just like a grit to it. There's a texture body to it, which is like fine. But there is something so conniving and devilish and deceptive about a baked good with a secret nut in it. It's like, not only is it something that, yes, it isolates people because some people can't have it, but also people are obsessed. People's whole livelihood seems to depend on giving you muffins that have secret, chunky, crunchy things in them. And it's like, I don't understand why we can't all just be friends, why we can't be open with each other, like why you feel that you need to present me with something so that I can think I'm having a good time and think I'm in a safe place, and then all of a sudden chip a tooth. Like it's the level of betrayal that I feel that is so frustrating. That clearly makes me emotional when I think about it. So I'm sorry to go on this rant. But I do want to say for the record that my crunchy peanut butter thing is separate from this. Those are separate issues because crunchy peanut butter,
understand.
Is a more consistent texture throughout. You're not like eating chunky peanut butter and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, ow, what was that? You know what you're getting. It knows who it is.
It's labeled, which I generally am not a big label person, because
I don't need labels.
I'm such a day-to-day, sometimes different, fluidity. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to certain things, for instance, identifying your pronouns, I think we need to add, are you a hidden nut baked good person? Because I need to know your stance, because if I'm going to accept a baked good from you made by your hands,
that's right,
sprouted from your heart and soul, I need to know in that heart and soul, with those hands, do you support hidden ingredients in baked goods, especially if they're nuts or anything else that's going to change the texture of a delicious, fluffy baked good? We have to know. I'm not going to hold it against you, but I need to know.
That's right. We
just
have
like
to establish
I'm never
going
to become friends with someone who's a Republican ever again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to knowingly be like, hey, I'm going to be friends with this person who wants to deny me and many of my friends and even relatives that are like immigrants rights.
Yeah. The two things you can do most in the world to alienate me. Number one, deny my loving partner access to my life insurance. Number two, put a nut in a baked good without telling me.
In one instance,
two things the Republican Party are
happen.
famous for. Two things the Republican Party loves to do. Church picnics with walnutty, crunchy ass muffins, and church picnics that are famously anti-gay. Those two things. Oh, I'm sorry.
Who knew that this
talk a lot about religion today?
I was just going to say religion and politics was inevitable with peanut butter, I guess.
There's a universality to it. That's what happens.
Yeah. That's what happens when something is so widely loved. Sometimes it's loved by the enemy.
But is a lover of peanut butter my enemy? Can any two people who appreciate peanut butter truly be enemies?
And that's why we need to get rid of the two-party system.
And maybe if Mr. Mussolini and Mr. Hitler
and Mr. Peanut, for that
and Mr.
matter,
Peanut had been able to sit down. I'm sorry. Woo, getting canceled on my podcast.
No, you're not getting canceled. We are just speaking the truth. We are rounding the corner of the new year. It's about to be the end of this 2020 year of trials and tribulations and hidden nuts. Honestly, if there was a year to be, if there was a year that we could,
exemplified that feeling.
Yes, of a delicious baked good. And for me, immediately spitting out, not because it doesn't taste great, but because it can literally end my life.
Because your life is on the line. Yeah.
COVID in 2020 and everything else that this year has brought us is like, that's it, honey.
That's the feeling. It. Yeah. Whoa.
Wow. I need to take a sip of water because I wish this was tea, because the tea has been poured. It's been steeped for a long time.
Steeped. It is piping hot.
Piping hot.
Which, another mark in favor of creamy peanut butter is that when you get it hot, the texture remains consistent. With chunky peanut butter, when you get it hot, it separates because of the oil in the peanuts.
Wait, what? I didn't even know that. Because, okay, so...
That's why you can't bake with it.
I will say here that I am a creamy. Same exact thing. Like, crunchy is, like, really only for, like, peanut butter toast and sandwiches. But if you want to use peanut butter for other stuff, it's been said. You said it.
Right.
We all understand. So I agree, but I don't have it ever, so I didn't even know that. That's kind of gross. I think I've only had crunchy peanut butter in a sandwich, now that I'm thinking of it.
Right.
Now I'm just picturing like a piece of peanut butter toast with a crunchy peanut butter, but it's like getting oily like a pepperoni pizza does, and then I'd have to like dab it.
Yeah. It's like there's two sisters, right? And creamy peanut butter, like she's the older one. She's a little heavier, but like she's sort of the Melissa McCarthy type, where she's just like a
or
classic.
The Michelle Arno in the Arno sisters.
She's the Michelle. She's the one who's a true classic, been around forever. Everybody loves her. She's easy to get along with. She walks into a room at mouth first. Everybody loves. She is adaptable to any environment. Like she just is a pleasure to have in class. Like that's chunky peanut butter.
That was on
what's
my
your sister's
card.
name again? Remind me of your sister's name.
Alana.
So Alana though is that girl where it's like, she's like, her aunt is at some family reunion and they're like, what's your niece's name? Alana? And she's like, yeah, she's an acquired taste. It's like, that's how they talk to her. It's like the people who love her. She has her people that she has collected. But other people, like she doesn't make a great first impression. Like she doesn't always have it together. But once she's in, like you're in with her. And there are people who are her diehards and who hate her sister, even though the sisters sort of get along. But they're like, no, fuck your sister. She's like, no, I love her. Like it's fine. We don't have a jealousy thing. They're like, your sister's literally Melissa McCarthy. Like, what are you? Of course you're jealous of her. You know what I mean? So.
Honestly, fuck astrology, fuck the Enneagram. All I need to know is, are you crunchy or are you creamy? Because I love my sister, and it's true. A lot of people love her, and I would say even are kind of like weirdly obsessed with her. But she kind of has resting bitch face and is like very private and like personal with who she hangs out with, kind of. So it's like you kind of just read us to filth.
The sensation of looking at a jar labeled chunky peanut butter, and the sensation of looking at someone with resting bitch face, those are the same feeling. It's the exact same sensation. Where you look at her and you're like, oh shit, she means business. Like you feel the exact same thing.
Wow. I mean, if there was anything to take away from this episode, Snackers, it's that. David, do you have any last words to say? Do you have anything to plug? Anything else to share with the Snackers before we go today?
Well, I mean, in terms of peanut butter, like I just, I think people forget about it because it is simple, but it is such a perfect.
She's always there. That's the thing.
Perfect, dependable. And if after this dumpster fire of a year, what we need more than anything else is comfort and stability and someone who's going to have our back no matter what. And that friend is peanut butter. So I wish for everyone if they're not allergic to it, the presence of peanut butter in their lives. In terms of something to plug, I don't have anything. You can follow me on Instagram at jdavidruby. I'm just single, really. That's all it is. So I'll plug, if you found me and the way I talked about peanut butter or Scientology sexy, please DM
Scientology!
I will be here with Oreos and peanut butter on like a charcuterie board, ready to ready to make your acquaintance. Don't hold back. Tell your friends.
Honestly, though, everyone follow him on Instagram because his Instagram stories are like always popping off with different delicious looking foods. Like, I'm about to just answer the call and be like, okay, here I am. I'm ready to eat your food. I'm ready to eat your peanut butter covered Oreos, whatever it takes. We will not have any nuts in our baked goods.
No, ma'am.
But yeah, snackers, go follow, go, like those pics. And thank you for listening. Thank you, David, for being here.
Goddamn pleasure to have discussed snacks with you this way. I love what you're doing. Thanks for making us laugh, keeping it real. We appreciate it. Oh my gosh.
It is my absolute honor and dream to provide this joy for my friends and listeners and snackers and everyone here today. So I hope you're having a good one. And until next time, this has been Snack Time. Bye.
Bye.